Welcome to the Autocast, the automaton broadcast where we update you on the status of this galactic war so far. Enjoy. Somehow, despite what our previous analysis of defense major orders, the Helldivers were actually able to complete the major order, taking advantage of Estana's constant outbreaks of Terminids. During our attack we managed to take the planets of Vernon Wells, which encircled Menkant, Mysa and Eopissa with Charball 7. Opissa allowed us to attack both Varilia 5 and Uster 2. Both attacks were unfortunately repelled. After we took Vernon Wells, we had encircled Menkant, completely destroying Super Earth's highly proclaimed Menkant line. After encircling Menkant, we captured it, and thanks to Vernon Wells, both Menkant and Lisseth were secured for some time until Vernon Wells fell due to our redirection of forces from defending planets to the offensives. The Hydra sector is our gateway to Super Earth. As long as we have a planet in the Hydra sector, we can pressure Super Earth as we are at its doorstep. We are trying to advance to the area where the initial scouting force landed. We have some precious schematics on Trustans and buried forces in Uster 2 that would be heavily beneficial for us to utilize. We will be working heavily to refill our reserves that were stretched and drained during our waves of attack. For now we must focus on the defensive before we attack again. This is a difficult decision for us to make, but it must be done. We also acknowledge the strategical risks that come with this decision, as Super Earth's forces have been replenished and are preparing for an offensive whilst we are unprepared for a defensive. We have to gamble on another party, whether it be the Harkani resistance in the Leo sector, the Terminids, or perhaps some other party to appear and make themselves known. As you have likely noticed, viewer, we have a new introduction. This is due to increased funding and resources from Cyberstar. Our infiltrators know that Super Earth is plotting some experimental new creation with the corpses of our comrades. We aren't sure quite yet what it is, but we will find out. We will avenge our fallen comrades. Super Earth has managed to repair their communications, likely done so on Essay Pass near Vernon Wells, as we held Vernon at the time their communications were repaired. We have also found some schematics regarding a new weapon in experimentation. It is unsure if these new mortars will be distributed to Helldivers soon, later, or even at all. For all we know, this could be a temporary experimental weapon that could lead to further technological advancements. Some schematics have leaked from Cyberstar regarding some new armored units, some new tanks, 1 or 2 are in experimentation, as well as some interceptor variants. Notably the sharpshooter, who we do not expect to be put into production, at least not this edition of them. The other interceptor on development, the heavy interceptor, is likely also not going to leave the experimentation stage due to the lack of agility, making them an easy target. The balancing of agility and armor on the interceptor is not feasible. The Scout Strider and Devastator models are more efficient at this. Now we have some interviews, mostly about their time on the front. First off, we start with Derek, a medic whom we are now sheltering in Cyberstar. What is your name and model?
Derek, human, hopefully forever, as long as I ain't getting threatened by.
What front are you deployed to and your primary job here?
I'm deployed at Cyberstan to help participate in healing injured sympathizers, rebels and cyborgs, and sometimes automatons.
How is life for you on the front so far?
Not much different, except I'm not getting yelled at every 3 seconds by a democracy officer, and not constantly getting threatened with execution for messing something small up.
Have you seen anything unusual on the front?
Saw some organic tissues within some of the automatons, which is odd, as only the cyborgs have flesh. And I saw an automaton painted in Helldiver colors, shooting at some of us sympathizers, which was odd.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Are there reasons why people keep trying to turn me into a robot?
Following up, we have Vapor, a fellow interceptor model, specifically that of a Morada. What is your name and model?
My name is Vapor and I am a marauder.
What front are you deployed to and your primary job here?
I am currently deployed on the planet Marfok and I operate an artillery base there and I really enjoy its nice view in the morning and the sight of dead corpses of Helldivers.
How is life for you on the front so far?
Pretty good. A few limbs lost, a few limbs replaced. I also made friends with a cockroach, and I named it Jeff.
Have you seen anything unusual on the front?
Not really. But there was this one thing I saw. After a few Helldivers destroyed one of our bases on the planet, I saw them taking some of our guns in pretty big containers. Don't really know what they want with our weapons. Maybe to find weaknesses or something, not much else of that I've seen.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, I would like to ask if you have some cookies I could give Jeff. He loves cookies.
Up next is Quasar, a unique interview because they are a cyborg. What is your name and model?
Quasar is the name, and seeing as I'm a cyborg, I don't technically have a model.
What front are you deployed to and your primary job here?
As a dedicated military engineer without combat capabilities, I don't regularly leave Cyberstar. My time is best spent building weapons that will eventually lead to peace.
How is life for you on the front so far?
In the Cyberstar Engineering Corps, I've made many a friend, both cyborg and automaton. Our retaking of the old capital here has led to some spectacular living accommodations as well, complete with state-of-the-art charging devices. I enjoy my time working for the Legion from the home planet.
Anything else you'd like to add?
After observing some of the footage sent back to us from our flagships, some sort of uber-advanced cloaking ships seem to be becoming bolder and bolder all across the galaxy. We have hoped that the Illuminator's still out there, and would welcome them with open arms in this war against tyranny.
Our fourth interviewee is Radek, another Helldiver defector. What is your name?
Male Radek, augmented human and defector of the Helldivers. My current deployment is on the planet of Mysa in the hopes of expelling all super-Earth forces from its soil.
What front are you deployed to and your primary job here?
My current role is to be an interrogator of any captured Helldivers and foot soldier when needed.
How is life for you on the front so far?
Life on the front is just as one might expect, rather gritty and rain-filled, but having a couple comrades, automaton and human alike, always makes it better.
Have you seen anything unusual on the front?
After an extensive interrogation of a decorated Helldiver, they had finally mentioned collecting salvaged pieces of armor from our devastators and the bodies of our essential foot soldiers.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, thank you. I'd like to mention that any act of corrosion from a Helldiver that does not involve raising their hands above their head is not a form of surrender. It is an act to lower the guard of their victim before removing their sidearm.
Our last interview this episode is of an anonymous Helldiver. What is your name?
I wish to remain anonymous.
What front are you deployed to and your primary job here?
Automaton and Terminid front. On both fronts I specialize in destroying communications. Really I just disable the devices for 3 hours, as after that Super Earth High Command stops checking for signals.
How is life for you on the front so far?
Life is fine. Dangerous, but fine. My ship's democracy officer is starting to get suspicious, so I have had to extend the length of my disabling devices.
Have you seen anything unusual on the front?
On both fronts, I have seen weird things lately. On the automaton front, I have seen crates being taken from automaton bases. From what I have seen, inside them are automaton bodies, computers, and weapons. On the Terminid front, I have been made to report to more and more E710 related missions. I have also seen SEAF workers along with civilians transporting barrels of E710.
Anything else you'd like to add?
For those wondering, I put a smaller form of my disabling devices in my bullets, which I have swapped out for smaller, less powerful bullets. So, when they hit, they just disable automatons and knock out Terminids.